So since Zuyohana has been in the banner, I know a lot of people have been enjoying Nicole. Me personally, myself, and along with her nice two personalities. And so today, guys, I'm going to be talking about Nicole and everything you need to know how to build Nicole the best way possible. And so, hey guys, my name is Mr. Ocean, and without further ado, let's just get started. So let's kind of talk about her skills to kind of see what she provides to the team and for her overall kit. And so first we'll start with her basic attacks. So we first have Cunning Combo. So she'll unleash up to 3 strikes dealing physical damage. So this is kind of her normal basic attack where she's going to be spraying around with her gun, basically dealing physical damage. And so next we have Do As I Please. So after using special attack, EX special, chain attack, or ultimate, she basically can reload, and her basic attacks, dash attacks are enhanced, increasing the power of her bullets. And so this is kind of beneficial that I haven't seen yet so far in certain characters that I've been doing guides on. And so with that, being able to use her skill and innately enhancing her damage is kind of good, but I wouldn't say it's the end all be all to just use her basic attacks. So take this with a grain of salt. Just by looking at that, it might seem good, but it's not the most beneficial thing in her kit. There's a lot of better things in it that I'm going to be talking about. And so next we have her dodge skill. So first we have Speed Demon. So a rapid dodge, which this character is going to be invulnerable when moving around, and you can hold the dodge to reload. You can end up enhancing your basic attack and dash attacks up to 8 times. So within a lot of these, like I said, it's going to be with her skills and everything. So I don't have to repeat myself. You are going to increase your basic attacks and dash attacks up to 8 times, which is beneficial, which will increase her damage, but yet isn't her best thing in the kit. So next we have Jack in the Box. So when dashing towards a target or an enemy, it will essentially deal physical damage to that enemy nearby. When not dragging the joystick, she will vault backwards, launching a ranged strike against enemies in front, dealing physical damage. So next we have her dodge counter, Diverted Bombard. So when dealing a perfect dodge, she can dodge backwards and send a ranged strike in front of enemies, dealing ether damage. She will be invulnerable in this state. So doing this will be beneficial with her since you do want to dodge, since dealing ether damage is going to be consistent, because every time you deal a perfect dodge, you are going to be casting massive amounts of ether damage. And then nextly, we have her special attacks. So first we have Sugar Coated Bullets. So she'll unleash a ranged strike against the enemy in front, dealing ether damage. And this will also have anti-interrupt level increased while using the skill. So unlike with this skill, she is not going to have the orb that you normally would see when you've played with her. So she's just only going to be casting an ether damage of just a spray. So a quick burst of damage that's going to be dealing ether. Just the same way like you deal when you collect enough bullets, you'll essentially be able to accumulate that, and you'll essentially just be able to do a quick burst of ether damage. And forgot to mention, so when it comes to generally how do you build up her bullets, you'll see her indicator dealing with bullets at the top left corner right under her. So essentially as you're doing a basic attack, she'll essentially accumulate your bullets, and essentially right after that you can hold that attack and essentially deal massive damage of ether. To move on, we have her EX special, which is Stuffed Sugar Coated Bullets. So when you have enough energy, you will essentially proc the same ranged attack, dealing massive ether damage. The only difference is you'll be able to pull enemies towards that orb, a field, being able to also deal overtime damage. And so next we have her ultimate. We have Ether Shellacking. And so whenever she procs or has chain attacks, she'll unleash a powerful ranged attack in a small area, generating a field that will pull enemies towards them into the center, dealing ether damage. And so again, it's the same like her E skill, but it's gonna be a lot more damage, and it's gonna be a little bit bigger. So just to take that a note and to consideration. And so now we have Ether Grenade. And so whenever the rating is at maximum, she will generate a ranged strike in a small area and dealing lots of ether damage. However, when using the skill, other squad members will recover 10 energy, and the next character to switch in will gain an additional 20. So you kind of want to see how you want to position your characters whenever you're doing your team comps, because doing that will be beneficial for you since you will all gain energy overall, but it's that next character that will get swapped in that will gain 20. So if there's a character that you have that you're going to be using with Nicole that is kind of lacking a little bit with energy, that's the best and perfect time to do it, since you will be increasing their energy whenever you use your ultimate for Nicole. And so next we have her W engines, and to start off with an S rank, we have Weeping Cradle, and for its W engine effect is Punishment. So so while off field, the equipper's energy regen increases by 1.05 seconds. The attack from the equipper's enhance the squad's damage against a struck target by 17.5 for 3 seconds. So during this period, this effect is further increased by 3% every 0.5 seconds, up to a maximum additional of increased damage by 18%. And repeating triggers only refresh its duration without refreshing the damage increase effect. The passive effect of the same name does not stack. So essentially, you are going to be increasing over energy over time very quickly, and also as well as your damage, but only for a short duration of 3 seconds. So you want to constantly be able to proc this and be able to use this as often. Next, we have the A rank, the Vault. And so for its W engine effect, Money Lover, dealing ether damage using an EX skill, chain attack, or ultimate increases all members' damage against the target by 24% and increases the equipper's energy regen by 0.8 seconds for 2 seconds. And so this is a beneficial weapon for me. I've been using this weapon and I think it's phenomenal because gaining more ether damage is going to be beneficial for Nicole, because ether damage is so far, I believe, the best element in the game so far. And being able to just buff your other teammates along with that is also great. By 24% is a huge margin. So being able to do that is essentially you're debuffing the enemies while buffing your characters, being able to just cast more damage. So I would say this would be a go-to weapon if you don't have the Weeping Cradle, but I think so far this is probably the best weapon for her. And so to kind of add for some B ranks, if you don't have the A rank or S rank, we have Reverb Mark II. And so for its W engine, Roaring Waves, launching an EX special attack or chain attack increases all members' anomaly mastery and anomaly proficiency by 16% for 10 seconds. And this effect can trigger once every 20 seconds. This is very good because anomaly proficiency is going to help you proc your anomaly. However, I wouldn't say it's the best thing, but it's a last resort as well if you do not have, say, the A rank or the S rank. For the next B rank, we have Reverb Mark III. And so with its W engine, Booming Sound, launching a chain attack or ultimate increases all members' attack by 12% for 10 seconds. This trigger can affect once every 20 seconds. So to kind of just put things into perspective, what essentially Mark II and Mark III is essentially the Vault, just separated. So with the Mark III, you're increasing your attack, and with the Mark II, you're increasing your anomaly proficiency. The Vault is pretty much the same thing as those two. So whichever one you want to prioritize more, if you do not have the A rank or S rank, pick and choose whichever one you need. Next, moving on to her disc drives. And so to start off with, you can have Swing Jazz, Freedom Blues, and Hormone Punk. To start off with Swing Jazz, its 2-piece set. Energy regen is increased by 20%, and its 4-piece, launching a chain attack or ultimate increases all party members' damage by 15% for 12 seconds. So this is also beneficial as well, because if you have that on top of their weapons, they're essentially going to be increasing their damage a lot. And so Nicole is a really great support character of being able to buff your team. And so that's what's great about Swing Jazz, and I would recommend a 4-piece for this. So next, moving on to Freedom Blues. For its 2-piece, it increases anomaly proficiency by 30, and with its 4-piece, when an EX skill attack is hit, an enemy, it reduces their target's anomaly buildup res by the equipper's attributes by 20% for 8 seconds. This is very good. I would say probably go for the 2-piece preferably. 4-piece wouldn't be as beneficial because you are wanting to prioritize, I think, damage more rather than the anomaly part more. So with your other characters, I would rather have them buffed by damage rather than getting a built-up resistance of anomaly. And so next we have Hormone Punk. For its 2-piece, it increases attack by 10%, and for its 4th-piece, upon entering combat or switching, the user's attack is increased by 25% for 10 seconds. This is good just to have the attack, so that's why I would say I would recommend the 2-piece, not the 4-piece. And so for set-wise, I would recommend a 4-piece Swing Jazz and a 2-piece Freedom Blues. Or if you are lacking in your attack and you already have enough anomaly proficiency, you can go with the 2-piece Hormone Punk. And when it comes to main stats, again, the first 3 are always the same. You have HP, attack, and defense. And for 4, 5, and 6, so for 4, you want to have anomaly proficiency, since you want to be able to be consistent with casting your anomaly and being able to have that quickly go up as quick as possible. Next, you want pen ratio to be able to penetrate that enemy's damage and being able to cast your ether damage. Since that's all you're going to be doing, that is beneficial for you, since you don't have to worry too much about crit or anything like that, or rather than ether damage as well. You can go for ether damage, but but pen would probably be kind of a better suit for you. Or if not, if you're lacking in ether, you can go ahead and use that. As well as disc 6, you want energy regen. Since energy regen is important, since you're constantly wanting to use her EX special, you are constantly going to want to build up more energy. So to have more energy and better for that, you are going to be able to need that in a crutch situation. And as for substats, best substats for her will be anomaly proficiency, attack percent, and pen ratio. Again, pen ratio is also important because you are wanting to kind of penetrate that enemy's weak spots and kind of penetrate through them, since their defense are going to be a little bit less significant in that part. And for attack, you want more attack on her since it's going to be beneficial for dealing your ether damage. So you want to have more numbers, bigger damage. And with anomaly proficiency, again, being able to catch your anomaly and being able to have it as effective as possible. Moving on to her team comps. So first, to start off with her so-called pay to play team comp. So I would recommend Zuyahan, Anbi, and Nicole. The reason why I list this is because Zuyahan is an S rank character, since you have to get her and most likely either spend your money or either get her through your free wishes. And so I would say for free to play, you can either have Ben, Billy, Anbi, and Nicole, as well as if you want instead, you can have Anton, Anbi, and Nicole. Since they're kind of interchangeable, Billy and Anton, I would probably say go for Anton a little bit more, since dealing with shock and dealing with ether is probably by far the best disorder reaction in the game so far. Next, I want to move on to Bangboos. And so for Bangboos that I would recommend for Nicole, I would highly recommend Razanabu, since Razanabu I think by far is the best because they will cause a mini black hole sucking in the enemies, dealing massive ether damage. And if you don't have that, since I believe they're S rank, you can as well get Devil Boo. Devil Boo is also beneficial for you. And if you don't have those two either, you can also do Buresher, which then is probably not the beneficial one for them. So if you have Devil Boo, definitely go with that. So lastly, let's talk about her cinemas. Since I believe Nicole's cinemas are probably a must, and since she's on the banner now, I would highly 100% recommend getting her cinemas now, since they will be beneficial over time and they are going to do massive benefits for your team and for your Nicole overall. So to start off with Cinema 1, Supercharged Bomb. The damage of the anomaly buildup inflicted by Nicole's EX special attack is increased by 16%, and for an additional 0.1 second of charging when Nicole activates her EX special attack. The duration of the energy field created at the target's location increases by 0.15. So you're gaining a massive amount of anomaly buildup when you're inflicting her EX special, which is great because corruption is, again, a really great reaction in this game. So having that is beneficial for you. Wouldn't say it's the top one, but it's very good. And so for Cinema 2, Charging Device. Nicole recovers 5 energy when core passive mechanical case debuff is triggered. This effect can trigger once every 15 seconds. This is really good. You need energy for Nicole, and that's great. Not her best cinema, but it's really good to have energy. On to Cinema 4, Field Expansion. So when Nicole uses her EX special attack or chain attack or even ultimate, the diameter of the field generated by the target location is increased by 3 meters. And so having that field just increase overall is great because you're covering more damage, you're covering more distance, and you're able to even suck in more enemies if they're a little bit more spread out. So having that is great and just overall a good benefit. So now moving on to Cinema 6, Corrupting Energy Field. When Nicole's energy field deals damage to an enemy, all squad members' crit rate against that enemy increases by 1.5, stacking up to 10 times, lasting for 12 seconds. The duration for each stack is calculating separately. So this is probably the best one for her, since 1, Nicole is great for buffing your team. She is going to be phenomenal when you are buffing your team, since overall what we've talked about so far, she's able to increase anomaly proficiency, anomaly buildup, resistance to anomaly, as well as now crit rate when she's at Cinema 6. So this is probably her best cinema right now, since you are increasing overall every character's crit rate. So if you have an attacker that's kind of lacking on crit rate since you have not the right disc drives, boom, right there, Nicole's gonna cast that and be able to increase that up to 15%. And that's great. That's beneficial for the entire team. So highly recommend getting Cinema 6 if you can. It is a must. It is so must for Nicole if you enjoy using her and you're gonna use her often in zenlesszonezero. So I kind of hope this video helped you out to understand how Nicole works and essentially her entire kit overall. overall. And so if you guys are enjoying her, make sure to use her in the best way possible. So hopefully this video helped you guys. And so I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever I post a new video. And so hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys later.